the moment you have a baby, you can completely just forget about yourself. I was just not getting any sleep. I did have a little bit of anxiety in the beginning. I pumped for like 3 months because I had so much milk. I wish people told me that, but people didn't. So it's just not easy. The next question is, this is like really personal. How much weight did you gain in pregnancy? Being a mom is hard. Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I feel like I have not done a sit down video in so long. I've actually been vlogging so much recently and I've been really loving it, but I decided to do a little Q&A. I feel like I actually have not done one since I had Theodore, which is my baby if you're new. But yeah, so I thought it'd be really cool to just sit down, answer some questions about postpartum, being a new mom. If you're new here, I just had my baby 6 months ago. I'm a first-time mom, so it's my first baby, and yeah, I'm probably gonna get right into the questions because there is quite a few of them, which thank you guys so much. I actually asked them on Instagram, so if you don't follow me on Instagram, definitely do that so you can participate next time I do a Q&A or something. So yeah, and also if you're new here, definitely hit the subscribe button. I do a lot of mommy content now, stay-at-home mom vlogs, stuff like that. So if you're into that, definitely subscribe. Let's get right into it. So the very first question is, what was the worst part about postpartum? For me, I feel like the worst part for me was literally being in so much pain and like taking care of a newborn baby and not knowing what to do, literally. It was hard to just be like in pain, you're bleeding, and you know, you have like this newborn and like, you know, you're so used to like sleeping all night, and then all of a sudden one night, you know, you just not sleeping. You're waking up every 2-3 hours, and so I feel like my recovery was actually pretty good compared to some women that I have talked to personally. Like, they went through so much, and I'm just pretty thankful with how things went for me. But another thing that was hard was I was super emotional all the time, so I just feel like I didn't feel like myself. I just felt like I was this new person or something. My hormones were all over the place. I would just cry randomly and I feel like that would just, I don't know. So that was kind of hard, but other than that, things went pretty well. Did your husband watch you give birth? Like, did he see it all? My husband was there the whole entire time. He was with me. The only time that he had to step out was when I was getting my epidural, which was kind of weird that he couldn't be there with me, but it was fine. But as to like actually the baby coming out and me giving birth, he did actually see. He wanted to look for some reason. And then he also touched this placenta, which I don't even remember this, but he said that he wanted to touch it. So he touched it, and then he said he was literally about to gag, so he like walked away from it. But yeah, so if you guys don't know Yuri, he's a curious cat. He is so curious about everything. He's so interested in all the things, so I'm not even surprised that he did that. What is the most surprising thing you've experienced in motherhood? I know I might get a little bit of hate for this. Maybe not, I don't know, but if you guys know me, I'm very real and I'm very honest, and this is just what I feel. Something that really surprised me in motherhood is how some mothers can be very like judgmental and always telling you their opinions and stuff like that. I feel like especially when you're a first-time mom, I feel like moms always try to tell you what to do, and like, oh, you shouldn't do that, or you should do this, blah blah blah. I'm totally for like people giving me advice, and especially like when I ask for it. But when people are constantly giving you their opinions and telling you what to do, and oh, you shouldn't do that, blah blah blah, like it gets really frustrating, to be honest. And like I said, I feel like they always do this for a first-time mom, because I feel like they think that we don't know what we're doing or something, or like we don't know our baby. But I know what's best for my baby, and I'm gonna do what I think is best and what's working for me. And every baby is different, you know, so I don't know. I was a little bit surprised. I thought that moms would be more encouraging and like, oh, you're doing such a good job, which there are people that do that. Do not get me wrong. There are mothers that do that, and that is so, so sweet. But I'm just talking about some people. I just encourage you that, you know, if you're a mom, then, you know, definitely be more encouraging than giving your 5 cents. I don't know. Do you ever mourn about your pre-baby life? I feel like we have wanted this baby for so long that it was really hard for me to even mourn or think about that. Are there moments where I'm like, oh, it'd be so nice to just like go to the store and like, you know, not think about like getting my baby ready and like putting him in the car seat and like making sure I have diapers, making sure he's fed and all that stuff? Like, yeah, sometimes I think about that, but do I mourn it? I don't really think so, to be honest, because I've wanted him for so long and he is the most precious thing in my life, in our lives. I absolutely love him with all of my heart, and I cannot imagine my life without him. I love him so much. And I know if you guys watch my vlogs, there are moments where I just leave him with Yuri and I'll run to the store. So like, I don't know, we work together and it's great. And I don't know, I feel like I don't, to be honest. I really do love him, and I love that he's in our lives. So next question is, had weight loss been hard postpartum? Currently struggling with this and don't know what to do. Well, first of all, honestly, I have not been really trying to lose weight. I'm 6 months postpartum and I have not worked out yet. I have not tried going on a diet. I really have not really done anything to focus on losing weight yet. Right now, I'm just really focusing on the things that I'm eating because I am breastfeeding, and the only thing I'm thinking about right now is I need my baby fed, and I need to make sure that he's getting enough nutrients from me. So right now I am not really focused on losing weight, working out. I'm not really on a diet of any sort or anything like that. So honestly, I haven't really been trying, or it hasn't been a focus in my life right now. But I'm not saying it's always gonna be like this. Obviously, I do want to lose weight. I'm not saying I wanna be like this forever. I do want to focus on losing weight and like eventually like really focusing on what I'm eating and what not to eat and stuff like that. But right now I'm just not in that place right now. I feel like for me, when I am done breastfeeding, I feel like that's when I might focus on that more. Maybe it'll even be earlier. Maybe in the new year I will start working out and like start trying to lose some kind of weight. But my advice, honestly, with like, because I know this person that asked this is like having a hard time with this, like you need to give yourself grace. Your body just created a baby. Don't focus so much on like, I need to lose weight, you know what I mean? Because I kind of did that in the beginning, like right when I gave birth. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this and that, you know. But like you need to remind yourself that you just had a baby, you just gave birth. You need to give yourself grace and focus on, you know, making sure your baby is fed and stuff. So I don't know. And the next question is, this is like really personal. How much weight did you gain in pregnancy? Was it easy to lose the weight after pregnancy? By the way, you are glowing, mama. I think I gained around like, I think it might have been like 20 pounds, 30 pounds. Honestly, I don't even know. I don't even remember, to be honest. But same thing as I was saying in the previous question is when you are pregnant, that's like a whole nother level. I feel like you should not be even focusing on your weight at all when you are pregnant. Like, you are growing a human in your body. I really don't think weight is something you should be thinking about. Yeah, there's a borderline to that. I feel like you shouldn't be like, you know, eating McDonald's and Burger King every single day when you're pregnant, but obviously, but you know, like, I just don't think that weight is something that you should really focus on. You should just focus on, like, you know, your body's growing a baby. The next question in that question is, was it easy to lose weight after pregnancy? I don't know, because I haven't tried. So can't answer that, but maybe I'll answer that later when I do start trying to lose weight. What's the biggest thing you've learned as a new mama? I feel like the biggest thing I've learned with being a new mom is a sacrifice. I feel like the moment you have a baby, you can completely just forget about yourself. You can forget about, you know, getting your hair done, doing your nails or whatever, you know, which I do try and find time to do that. But I'm just saying in general, like, you just kind of forget about those things because your only focus is your baby and just taking care of him. And I feel like, especially in the beginning stages, I feel like now it's kind of more like I do try and, like, you know, obviously get my hair done and take care of myself and stuff like that, which I don't think that you should completely just forget about yourself. You should be taking care of yourself. But I'm just saying, like, you just kind of forget about yourself. Like, your worries, your struggles, they don't really matter anymore because all you care about is your little baby. So what's the hardest part about being a mom? I feel like right now the hardest part right now is not sleeping, not getting any sleep. We started sleep training Theodore because he was literally waking up every single hour, you guys. I was literally walking around like a zombie. I was just not getting any sleep. So we started sleep training him and it was going great. And then he got sick. So we had to stop because I cannot sleep train when he's sick. That's just like, I can't do it. And I mean, even in the course it says to not sleep train when baby's sick. So we kind of stopped doing it. And now we want to start again. Now that he's feeling better, we're gonna start sleep training again because it is brutal, you guys. Like, I'm literally not getting any sleep at all. Like, I feel like I'm sleep deprived. Being a mom is hard. Like, it really is hard. Like, I feel like that's one thing people don't really talk about a lot. Maybe they do, but I haven't heard. It's just not easy, you know? Like, you have to not sleep all night, and then there's like, you have to do things during the day. Like, you have to wake up in the morning, you have to feed him, you have to play with him, you have to, you know, make breakfast, and you have to eat yourself. So I can't just like not eat my breakfast because I'm breastfeeding, and there's just so much that goes into it. And they say, oh, sleep when baby sleeps. No, I can't do that. If I sleep when the baby sleeps, nothing in the house will get done. So I can't do that. So yeah, so motherhood is definitely harder than what I thought it would be, but it's so worth it. I'm so happy with everything. I'm just, you know, saying, I'm being real, you know. Breastfeeding was the biggest challenge so far. Breastfeeding has actually not been a challenge at all for me, you guys. Which is, I know, that is so crazy because when I was pregnant, you guys, I was so nervous about breastfeeding. I was more nervous about breastfeeding than I was giving birth, which is crazy, I know. But literally, I was so nervous about breastfeeding. I know a lot of people that struggled with breastfeeding, and my mom didn't have milk, so I was really nervous about like not having milk. I was nervous about breastfeeding and all the things that come with it and stuff. But you guys, I don't know what it was, but the Lord literally blessed my whole breastfeeding experience to the fullest, because honestly, I feel like if it wasn't for my prayers, it would have been hard. But Theodore latched on really well. There were like a couple of days at the hospital where like it would be hard for him to latch or whatever, but honestly, I used those lactation consultants to the fullest. So he was eating really good. I never had like mastitis or like clogged ducts. Is that what they call it? Yeah. I never had like any of that. So like I was really like careful with my boobs, literally. Like I would always cover my boobs, like even in the car, like in the AC or whatever. Like I was really nervous about getting mastitis, and I did have a lot of milk in the beginning. I pumped for like 3 months because I had so much milk. And so usually they say when you have a lot of milk, you get mastitis. But that was not the case for me. He woke up, you guys. I'm gonna have to be right back. Anyways, Theodore did not want to go back to sleep, so he is in the swing right next to me. So if you hear some baby noises, it's because he's right next to me. But as I was saying, yeah, breastfeeding, it was and is going really, really well for me. Another thing that I wanted to mention was my milk flow was really, really quick. So he would eat like 5 minutes. Literally ever since he was born, he just ate 5 minutes. Like the most would be like 10 minutes. But yeah, so that was another big blessing, because I know people that breastfeed for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and I'm like, I cannot imagine waking up and breastfeeding for like that long. But yeah, so things went really well. If you guys want me to do like a whole breastfeeding video of like how I breastfed, how I pumped, when I pumped, like all the details and all of that, to help mothers who were mothers to be that are confused, because before I was really confused about all the breastfeeding stuff, all the pumping stuff, like when to pump. I had no idea what I was doing. All thanks to my sister-in-law, I'm serious. She helped me so much. I'm so thankful for her. She gave me all the details on what to do and everything. So if you guys want me to make that kind of video, if you guys are interested in that, definitely let me know in the comments, and I'll do like a whole breastfeeding video. How long, the next question is, how long do you plan on breastfeeding? I did almost 2 years. My goal is to do 1 year. I personally do not want to breastfeed over a year. I don't know if people will get offended, but I personally think it's a little bit weird when babies are breastfed over a year. That's just my personal opinion. I think it's great. I think it's so special and sweet that people breastfeed for that long, like 2 years, whatever. I personally just don't want to do that. Like, the thing is like, my baby does not need breast milk after he's a year old. I don't know. I'm dedicating my year and that's it. Like, I don't want to be breastfeeding any longer. I just think it's really weird. I feel like it just starts getting weird when like the baby starts pulling down your shirt and like asking for it and stuff. And honestly, it's not like they need it. They just want it for comfort. So I don't know. It's just like my personal opinion. And like I said, I think it's great when people do it, when other people do it. That's really sweet. I don't judge at all. It's your baby. You do what's best for you and your baby. If you want to do it that long, that's amazing. But personally for me, I don't want to do it like that. So the next question is something you feel like no one talks about that would have helped you. I feel like breastfeeding should be talked about more. I feel like people say so many things about giving birth, all that stuff, but giving birth is only like that little part, and then there's like a whole thing after. So nobody talks about postpartum, nobody talks about, you know, breastfeeding, and breastfeeding is a huge part of like having a baby. Like that is literally what feeds your baby, you know? So I feel like that definitely needs to be talked about more. And you know what would like really upset me or make me really mad is like when I would ask people for breastfeeding advice and people would be like, oh, you'll figure it out. It's like, thanks, that's great advice. So I definitely do feel like we need to talk about breastfeeding more and postpartum more, because everybody talks about birth, but nobody tells you like what it's like after having a baby, what it's like taking care of your body after having a baby. What should you do? What should you have like in your house, you know, like the ice packs or whatever, the ice pads, or you know, like those creams and dermoplast and all that stuff, you know. Now I feel like when people are very close to me or I know they're having a baby, I'm like so open with them. I'm like, girl, you need this, you need that, you need to have that. Like, I don't know, I wish people told me that, but people didn't. So next question is, since you had diabetes during pregnancy, did they just go away after labor? Yes, they did. They literally just go away right after you give birth. I honestly never checked my sugars ever again. I never got a glucose test ever again. I know you're supposed to do it when you're like 7 weeks postpartum, something like that, but I never did it. I was like, you know what, forget that. I'm not doing that. I'm fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with me. So yeah, I actually did check my sugar when I was in Portland because my dad was checking my sugar, and I was just really curious as to see what my sugar was, and it was normal, so I have nothing to worry about. The last question I'm going to answer is, have you experienced postpartum depression, anxiety, or rage? If yes, how did or do you cope with it? I did not have any postpartum depression, and I thank the Lord for that. I did have a little bit of anxiety. I feel like it would give me anxiety like in the evening time, and it also gave me a little bit of anxiety when like Yuri would work really late or I was by myself at night with him. It would kind of like scare me, but I didn't have it for very long. I only had it for literally the first month. Like that first month was probably the hardest for me, but the biggest thing for me was I was very emotional. I would literally cry over everything, you guys. I was so emotional. Like I would just cry here and cry there, and like honestly, I don't even know why I was crying, but I just was crying. And it was really weird because it was like always at a certain point of a day. It would always be in the evening time. So like Yuri would go to work, I'm fine, like I'm fine during the day, I was fine, like great, everything's great. And then like as soon as like 6 or 7 o'clock hits, I would just, I don't know, it was so weird. I just started getting emotional and I'm crying and I have no idea why I'm crying. Like it wasn't because I was like, oh my gosh, I love my baby so much, like I'm crying. Like no, like I'm literally crying and I have no idea why. I'm just crying. So that was really annoying, to be honest. I was so annoyed of that. I just didn't feel myself. I just felt like I was just like, who am I? Like why am I crying? So that was like a really big thing. So I don't think I might have had like a little bit of baby blues here and there, like just cry and this, like feel, but no like postpartum depression or any of that, which I am so thankful for and very glad. I think the biggest thing with like postpartum depression and baby blues is like, I feel like women get it a lot when their husband isn't very like helpful and like not very present. So I'm really thankful to Yuri that he was, oh my gosh, my camera is about to die, but Yuri was very helpful, and like he was always involved in stuff, and it really helped me a lot. So yeah, anyways, that is all the questions I'm going to answer. My camera is literally about to die. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little Q&A. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like this video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys. you.